clinical scenario based questions were a bit tricky and difficult to answer, sir. They were confusing options and all. I didn't read Bradley or Adam Victor, sir. The videos were very much helpful, sir, for the content which was not there in Harrison, and for the revision sake. The videos were helpful, sir, actually. Marrow, I subscribed 2 months prior to the NEET exam, sir. So I thought like whichever the areas which I felt I was weak, uh, those those videos I had to complete off the first. And I feel watching Marrow content completely and thoroughly and making a proper notes of it so that we can revise it properly at the end, the difficult areas and all, it would be more than enough to clear it, sir.
Good evening, friends. I am happy and proud to invite Dr. Suraj Kumar, who secured All India rank of 3 in Neurology, NEET SS, which held last month, as well as he has secured 15th rank in gastroenterology. So, welcome, Dr. Suraj. He did his MT from KMC, right? And Warangal.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you just introduce where did you
Thank
do
you
your
so much.
MBBS, MD, and all?
Yes, I did my MBBS from Usmania Medical College, sir, Hyderabad. I did my MD in Kakatiya Medical College, Warangal, sir.
And you're basically from Hyderabad.
Yes, sir, I'm from Hyderabad, sir. Yes.
Yeah. And how was your exam? How was your preparations? And how did you prepare? Like what were your sources of preparation? Uh, uh, like,
Sir, I was interested in neurology right from the start of my medicine graduation, sir. So, uh, I was more of like looking into the cases and reading them up in Harrison, reading the journals, taking help of my professors and all. I used to get inclined more towards the neurology cases rather than the other branches, sir.
yeah.
But at the end, I got a little bit of interest in gastroenterology, so I started preparing for that. So,
And you were preparing for gastro mainly, and then you got a beautiful rank in neuro, and that this exam was really tough for
yes,
me. The exam was very tough, and it was like core neurology and a lot of practical questions and lengthy questions. So how did you prepare?
yes,
From where did you prepare? You prepared from Harrison, or you prepared? How did you prepare?
sir. My core go-to books were like Harrison only, sir, and the clinical teachings and the clinical books were also of help, sir. I didn't read Bradley or Adam Victor, sir. The videos were very much helpful, sir, for the content which was not there in Harrison, and for the revision sake. Uh, the videos were helpful, sir. Actually, I was not like reading the books at the end. I was only looking at the videos and watching them twice or thrice, sir. That helped me clear the.
Yeah, actually, like when I was taking the classes and or like in the live session, some has asked about reading have broadly how many times you should read and all. But I always feel that broadly is a textbook. It is to be read. You can read it only when you doing the DM. During the MD days, it is very difficult to read Bradley because it is a huge textbook. And I was trying to concise the things from Bradley into the videos. And I'm
Yes,
happy
sir.
to hear that it was helping to you. And
Yes,
among the Marrow, you told me that you were primarily out for gastro, so you obviously might have watched gastro videos, medicine videos, and other videos.
yes,
So,
sir.
which all
Yes, sir.
faculty did you felt it was better? Like you felt it was very good.
Yes, sir. Rakesh Nair sirs are of top-notch quality, and he makes it so simple, sir.
Yeah,
And for neuro, you have made the things so easy, and the things to remember are quite many, sir, for neurology. I was thinking like
yeah,
we have to
neuros.
butify all the things and remember everything, but you made them like mnemonics and so simple to remember. The ones which you made things like easier were of very much helpful to me, sir. Even for gastroenterology, Srikant Menon sir and Taran Joseph sir, they were like too good, sir. With the shortest time possible, they have made the extensive content and in short time, which is very much easy to watch it multiple times.
Yeah, actually, I also felt like Marrow videos a little bit went into the core of neuro as well as other subject. Actually, this exam was a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit all the like in neuro part. I had written neuro part, so there were around 69 questions from neuro,
Yes,
and majority of the questions are not from Harrison. Majority, not like
yes, sir.
98% questions are not from Harrison. 98% are like in depth. Practical point, what will you
Yes, sir.
do? And actually, when you're watching the medicine videos and other videos, and you told me that you also watched Nishant Shah's that cardiology videos.
Yes, sir.
So
Cardiology
uh,
videos. Yes, sir.
yeah, so how did you divide a time between medicine and specialty? Because you were preparing for gastro, but you were interested in neuro as well, and you have watched cardios also. So how did you divide
Yes,
a
sir.
time
Yes.
for all those things?
At first, I was thinking of completing the medicine part by Rakesh Nair sir first, sir. Then I thought of finishing off neuro and gastro, sir. I was unable to complete the video content, sir. It was too extensive. So I thought like whichever the areas which I felt I was weak, uh, those are those videos I had to complete off the first. So I have done them, sir, and the rest of the specialties also I have done the same, sir, and I felt them very much helpful to me, sir. Like the
And
content given by the faculty, they are like too interesting and they create interest in us to get into that specialty, sir.
yeah,
They
actually,
are
I
like too good to yes.
Yeah, I actually, when I was preparing for the Marrow classes, what came into my mind, and even Rakesh sir, he was actually my mentor. He actually told me also try to
Yes,
make the subject interesting to students rather than giving some
yes, sir.
like lot of knowledge. Try to make the subject interesting.
Yes,
I think that was the main idea of Marrow also. And which all videos in like if you mention specifically in neuro, I mean gastro and whatever in that part you have watched, any specific videos you felt it was good, and any specific videos you felt it might have been better,
there is nothing like
if
any
comfortable
scope
you
for
remember.
improvement or such kind of things, sir. The videos which I watched were really excellent, sir. Like they are beyond the DM level, I felt, sir. Those are more than enough for the exit exam, sir. Whatever the content is there on Marrow, they are like more than sufficient to clear off the exam, sir.
And you wrote your exams on August, right? You were telling like August last
Yes,
2020
sir.
August. Yeah. And after that, like when did you start watching Marrow, and whether you were preparing before that, like during your last 3 years of MD, did you were
Yes.
preparing for DM, or you just loving the subject and reading and going through that?
I was more of reading medicine part, sir. I was like interested in knowing everything, and but my keen interest was towards neurology and gastroenterology, sir. Marrow, I subscribed 2 months prior to the NEET exam, sir,
Oh,
and then I started watching the videos, sir.
and you were able to watch Mal at least
For the
major.
revision part,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
continue.
For the major part and the revision, Marrow was very helpful for me, sir. The video
And
content was so easy to watch, and I could even watch few of the videos multiple times, sir.
yeah, so
The
you
ones
got
which I
enough
felt
time.
were difficult to remember.
Even 2 months, it was enough time to watch the major content of Marrow, even though you were watching
Yes, sir.
gastro as well as neuro as well as medicine and some bit of cardiology also, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
that is actually good. Those who are going to write the next exam, there is actually some around 4 to 5 months are still there. They still can
Yes, sir.
utilize the time and watch the videos. And you were telling me that, like I was during the preparation videos also, I was telling to make notes, but you told me that you have not prepared notes. Actually, it is a good thing. Like when you can remember some, if some classes are able to make you remember things, you don't need to make the notes,
Yes,
because I had told in the last video also, because I during my PG preparation I was in Thrissur Medical College, like for the one TMC class session was for entrance, where Ragesh sir taught us SLE. I still remember the class even now. So I was just
yes, sir.
that to maybe beneficial, even though if you don't prepare the notes also.
Yes, sir.
And did you plan anything just prior to the exam, like revision or anything you planned, or you just went in the free mind, or you have any plan for revision was there or not? Like, what was your plan? Something like
Harrison, Harrison tables and the major areas were the go-to for the revision part, sir. I couldn't watch the entire content again for the video, so I thought I would just brush up the things, and the areas which I felt weaker, those part I have revised before the exams.
But in this time NEET SS, what I was like, I was a bit shocked after seeing that all the questions were lengthy, and second thing was there was
Yes,
not much direct questions. Everything was
yes,
practical, application-based questions, and
yes,
I was telling students to go to the tables, just like you were telling, go through tables.
yes,
But
yes,
there was not much direct questions came from the table. And while you're writing the exam,
yes,
I was sitting in front of the computer. I was trying to go through the question papers to memorize the question papers. But even for that, it was difficult for me. So how did you find the time for that? I felt that time was a big problem during this exam. Did you get enough
yes,
time
sir.
to go through second time?
For few of the questions, I was able to read through second time, sir. The clinical scenario based questions were a bit tricky and difficult to answer, sir. They were confusing options and all. That made it a bit challenging to do it completely for the second time, sir.
Yeah, actually, even without attempting the much questions, I found it difficult to go through, read and
Yes,
go through the entire questions. So because all the questions were lengthy and below there was a diagram, and
yes,
then you have to go to the options. And
yes,
some questions were coming from like ambiguous areas. We were discussing
yes,
like AVM and all those came from the ambiguous
AV
areas.
malformation. Yes, sir. Yes,
And what is your suggestion if you want to? I have two options. I'll tell you. One is like if you are telling your juniors, like those who are doing first year, second year, and third year, who is your junior? Obviously, they will come and ask you because you are now become the pride of your college, and because the first you got third rank in national level, so they will obviously come and ask you, sir, how should I study? How should I plan for this? I want to get into neuro or cardio or gastro. What will be your advice?
yes.
Obviously, what will you tell your juniors?
Sir, as it is the common paper now, we have to be very much well versed with all the subjects and all the branches, sir. And I feel watching Marrow content completely and thoroughly and making a proper notes of it so that we can revise it properly at the end, the difficult areas and all, it would be more than enough to clear it, sir. And as I
And
have observed for neurology questions, sir, as you have said in your NEET SS recall, there were like few hints and catch points in the questions, sir.
yeah, it
Whether
was
it
right.
be the image or uh, the ability to catch those catch points and all will come through repeated revisions and all, and watching it thoroughly and knowing the proper contents.
Uh,
That
and
is what I
uh,
feel.
yeah, and one more thing is you like the last moment, just before 1 or 2 days prior to the exam, or at least 1 week prior to the exam, whether you were revising only Harrison or you were revising something like notes or anything, or you were just last 1 or 2 days you were just left for your good sleep and everything.
I was looking at Harrison, and one thing I did was I watched the how to tackle the MCQ questions and all. They were made by Nishant Sagar sir, like how to answer the MCQs and all, like how
Yeah,
to tactically solve them. I've watched them, and
yeah.
those yes, those were a bit helpful, sir.
Yeah. And you were telling that you are watching the videos, and when you watch neuro, gastro, medicine, that will be large amount of videos. So how did you select the
Yes,
videos, or how did you watch? Whether you were watching in speed and you can increase the speed in the app now. So increase the speed and just
yes,
write down the
yes.
notes, or just gone through the time mark line. How did you watch the plan to watch the different videos? Because in 2 months you could go through these three subjects major part. So how was it planned?
Yes.
Like, and you were working also,
I watched
right?
it in the two. Yes, sir. I watched it in most of the videos. I watched it in 2x speed, sir. The ones which I felt were tricky and difficult to remember, like the genes and syndromes and all those things, I I went a bit slow, and I made some time that I could remember them, sir. With all the mnemonics you made for the videos and all, those I had to take them down, and so that I could look back at them, and so that I could remember easily, sir. Those mnemonics and all were very much helpful, sir.
And actually, when
for
you tell
these
the mnemonics,
spinocerebellar ataxias and all.
yeah, what I remember, the only mnemonic I remember which I had told, I remember because what I remember is about hereditary neuropathies. And remaining things like when I was taking the classes in between, this will come spontaneously. I was not planning to make mnemonics. My plan was not to give mnemonics, but it naturally came. Few things
Yes, sir.
naturally came from me.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
uh, so you will advise your juniors to just go through your Harrison as well as this thing, and what you told previously was the app thing. Like you were, I mean, during your MD days, you were watching the cases, and that case you were going and reading from
Yes.
Harrison and other journals. That was actually the best thing you
Yes.
can do during the PG life, because at that time
Yes.
I always feel like you have to enjoy your residency rather than burning your head in thinking about super specialty. You have to enjoy the cases, read the subject, and whatever cases you're watching, you have to go and watch it. Right now, you have got a third rank in neuro as well as 15th rank in gastro, and you were preparing basically for gastro in the last time, but you have basic love towards neuro from the beginning. So now it is confusing for you to obviously decide among the branches. So what you have decided? You decided or have you planned what to take, because you will get both of that.
I'm actually more of inclined towards gastroenterology now, sir.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah.
Yes.
So now you will be planning to take gastro more likely.
Yes.
And which place you will prefer? What is any preference is there
Preferably, I like to take it in my hometown, sir, Hyderabad.
in Hyderabad?
Yes, sir. Usmania or that.
Okay. And how did you choose among the specialities? Like, you are the right person to ask because you have confusion between neuro and gastro. And what was the exact thing, like what you liked in neuro and what you liked in gastro, and why did you choose gastro? And what was the reasons for, like, anyone who is like your juniors or someone next year who want to go to like same confusion exists? What you feel, why you went for that subject?
Sir, neuro, I felt the most interesting part was the diagnosis. Reaching the diagnosis in a proper way is the difficult part. We find rarer things and all, and we find it very thrilling to diagnose things like that.
Yeah.
For gastroenterology, I felt like the intervention part is uh, a bit more, and we could do something to them. Like the intervention part was exciting in that way.
Yeah, gastro is more like interventions are more in gastro, but neuro also
Yes.
right now that neuro intervention is booming, but gastro interventions are like more core intervention branches are gastro. So you are more interested in interventions, and that is obviously like those MD students who interested in intervention goes either for gastro or cardio.
Yes.
And neuro is like more of a soft branch, and it has lot of, you need lot to read and lot to study. I've always felt that neuro is one subject you need to understand a lot and lot of things to read. At the end of time, you won't remember everything. That is what is happens in neuro.
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
I think your suggestion for your juniors is the same. Like you had,
Yes.
but what I think is during the residency time, enjoy your residency and study. I mean, prepare for your exam. That is the MD exam rather than preparing for an SS. Then ultimately you will come to understand which is the area your interest is, because whatever subject you take, that is going to your next lifetime work, lifetime job. So you have to select at that moment, and you are the right person to ask because you had inclination towards neuro from the beginning. Then you had gone for gastro and you got ranks in both, and it is really amazing thing to see that that you being a fresh pass out and in an exam paper which contained a lot of core neurology questions. Even the basic medicine part also contained a lot of core neurology questions, and you were able to get a third rank with that tough paper. And you yourself were telling that you had not gone through Bradley, and I was telling from the beginning that you cannot read entire Bradley and write an
Yes.
exam. It is difficult. For DM also it is difficult.
Yes.
So uh, all the best for the future, and
Thank you so much.
I hope you are very
Thank you.
happy, and I hope you will get in your hometown only. Always in DM there is, when you are doing, what I felt is when you're doing is better to do in the comfortable place, because you will soon, like, you are already past MD, you will have a family, and all those things will come. So all the best for your life. Keep in touch. I've given you a number. You can
Thank you so
contact
much.
me. I will contact you in back,
Yes.
and just
Yes.
let me know what you have decided and where you got at the end, like after the
Yes.
counseling.
I'm very much thankful to all of you, sir, for taking time and making such crisp and excellent video content for all of us so that we could clear the exam easily. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you for these words, and we all feel proud of you, and all the best from Marrow side and
Thank
my
you, sir.
person.
Thank you.
Thank you.